In this unit, we're talking about finance. And finance, there's three kind of components of the finance, which is budgeting, and then saving our money using two different methods, either a lump sum method or when we make regular deposits, and then finally spending our money in terms of loans and mortgages and also credit cards. So in this video, we're going to talk about simple and compound interest. So this is what we are going to consider um, lump sum investing. So we're going to take a set amount of money and put it in the bank for a period of time, and using either simple interest or compound interest. And some terminology just so we know what we're talking about. The principal, which is used by a letter P, denotes the beginning amount of money. A, which is the ending amount of money, or just an amount, but it's considered the ending amount of money, so the amount of money at the end of a time period. The interest is the amount of money that increases or decreases the overall amount of money, so it's an amount of money. The interest rate is the percent of interest. The annual percentage rate, that's an APR, and the annual percentage yield is an APY. All right, so simple interest is a linear equation, which means that it's growing by the same amount of interest each year. All right, so it's the same amount of interest each year. And when we remember from our linear equations that we have an output letter equals initial value plus or minus the absolute constant rate times the input letter. Well, in this case, the output letter is going to be an A because that's our ending amount. Our initial value, this is P, which is our principal amount, plus, because we're always adding interest because we're saving our money, this absolute constant rate, this is going to be the amount of the interest rate times the principal. So this right here is the interest rate, so R, times the principal to find out what, so this equals the amount of interest made each year. So the interest amount per year. And then the input letter, which is, since we usually do it every year, then the letter would be either a Y or a T. In most books, you'll see it as a T. We generally use a Y in this course. So let's break this down in terms of looking at an example. Notice that this says, suppose you invest $250 at 4.5%, and then it says simple interest. So that's telling you that this is a simple interest problem. So how much interest, what's the amount of money? So how much interest is made in 1 year? Remember, that is this absolute constant rate, or it is the amount of money, so the $250 times the rate, so the principal times the rate, and the rate is 4.5% or 0.045, because we again need to change the percent to a decimal before we can use it. And that ends up with $11.25. So this amount of money is how much is going to be made each year. So now to write that equation, we have A equals the initial amount or the principal amount, which is our $250, Okay, so that's our initial amount. Now we need how much we're making each year plus the $11.25 every year. Again, sometimes you'll see a T here. I like to use Y because that represents the number of years. So how much money will be in the bank after 5 years? We're just going to substitute the Y with a 5. So A equals 250 plus $11.25 times 5 years. And that's going to give us the amount of money that we will have after 5 years, which is $306.25. So how much money will be made? So this is how much money we will have in 5 years. So how much interest was earned in that 5 years? So we started with 250. So we can do one of two things. We can either take $306.25 minus our $250. This is how much interest we made. Or in this particular case, for simple interest, we can take just $11.25 times 5. That'll give us the same amount because that's how much was added in to the $250. So let's suppose we get a tax refund of $2,750 and we put it in a savings account. So remember, this is a lump sum amount. And savings accounts really don't earn much money at all. It's simple interest. So we're going to have 0.6% each year. How much money will you have in the bank after 12 years? So we know that we need to find out first how much interest we're going to make every year. So $2,750 times, so this is 0.6%. So now we're going to have 0.006, is again 2 decimal places, and that amount of money is $16.50. So this is the interest per year. So now we can find out, so we can find out how much money we're going to have in 12 years. So we're going to start off with our $27.50 plus $16.50 for 12 years. And we type that in and we end up with $29, so $2,948. That's how much we end up with. How much interest was earned? Again, we can either take the $27.50 minus the $29.48, so we can subtract those two numbers, or we can simply take our $16.50 times our 12 to find out how much was that. So we ended up with $33 was made in interest for 12 years.